on the News Channel 5 network. This is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine on this Monday. Nick Barris here on the Plus, and an interesting show, especially for those of you who maybe, did I say Wednesday? What day did I say? Oh, did I say Monday? Gosh, no, thank goodness it's hump day, as Leland would say. Look, I got up early this morning, everyone. Anyway, it is Wednesday, of course. And listen, we're going to be talking about home ownership this morning, and the idea, especially for those of you, or if you know someone who is in the market to become a first-time home buyer, and some of the programs that are in place that could actually help cover your closing costs, could help you afford a home when otherwise you may not be able to. And we're talking about in several counties, including Davidson County. So, you know, listen up here. The number 737-7587 if you want to join in the conversation. But I don't know that everyone's aware of what's available out there. And here's your chance to take advantage of it. With us from the Tennessee Housing Development Agency is Ralph Perry. Good morning to you, Ralph. I'm glad it's not Monday.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad it's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week.
Too.
But thanks for coming on. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to be back. We had a chance to talk about this last year, I think.
And it came back to me, you know, some of the details, you know, and then when you started talking, and I thought, well, what a cool thing that the state does with some federal money. But real quick, just for folks out there, I mean, are there a lot of people that maybe go through that are first-time home buyers that don't know about this plan?
I'm quite sure there are.
And that could probably have benefited.
Yes. I mean, that's one reason, especially at this time of the year when people start thinking about it, we make an effort to get around the state and make sure people know that if you go to a lender who works with Tennessee Housing, we're going to be able to help you with a competitive rate on a 30-year fixed rate, no gimmick mortgage. We can help you with a down payment. If you're buying a home in one of certain designated zip codes, that's worth $15,000 to you. And, you know, all that stuff, the details at greatchoicetn.com.
No, what do you mean? Okay, we'll get into the breakdown of this. Like I said, we can take some phone calls. All right, so the idea, first of all, how do you know whether or not, are most of the banks affiliated or not? I mean, how do you know?
Well over 100.
Okay, so you can go in if you're a first-time home buyer, and let's just hit the basics on qualifications. It's not just for everyone. There are income limits, but they're higher than you might think for some.
You know, what we deal with at Tennessee Housing is financing for the first-time home buyer of what I call moderate middle income. Okay. Now, around Davidson County and most of the surrounding counties, that can be a single person earning up to about $80,000 a year.
Wow.
Three-person household up to about $90,000 a year. We want to see a credit score of at least 640. We want to see a debt-to-income ratio no higher than 45%. Now, the reason we do that is we're dealing with a first-time buyer of still modest means, and so we don't want to do any gimmicks. We don't want to get too cute. We don't want to stretch someone to the last nickel of their financial capability. That doesn't work well.
No, we've seen that.
But what you would do, the best place to start for anybody is our consumer webpage, which is just greatchoicetn.com. Click on first-time home buyer, because in addition to information about the mortgage and the down payment, it'll give you a list of all the lenders in the area who offer our product and the list of the home buyer education counselors who can help you get started.
What type of structures, by the way, are we talking about? Does it have to be a home? Could it be a condominium that you buy? Could it be a townhouse? Yes or no?
All of the above.
Okay, as long as you're buying something to live in, and you're buying it, you're not renting it.
You know, there's a price limit. Now, generally that's going to be, you know, $234,000 is about as big a mortgage as we can provide.
That you can take on.
As a practical matter, given the income of the people we serve, most people are picking homes that are probably a bit less, or certainly less than that.
So they get a more manageable mortgage along those lines. Now you are, when you talk about getting in there and getting a good rate, as anything, you're susceptible, as we keep watching what happens in D.C., to the interest rate fluctuations. But is it possible that someone that goes to a bank that you're affiliated with, going through the state program, and again, you're not out to make money or anything, this is a state program, could get a better rate than they went to another bank that doesn't have your plan?
Well, we don't really compete on a rate basis, and I'll tell you why. Our typical customer is not going to qualify for that low rate you see advertised, because that rate assumes that someone's coming in with a very high credit score and 20% down. That's not our customer.
Okay.
Our typical customer has household income a little less than $60,000.
Okay.
They've got a credit score of about 685. They need some down payment assistance from us to buy a house that in and around Nashville is worth about $185,000.
Okay.
That's our customer. Now, for that customer, we offer a competitive rate of interest.
Okay.
And we can help with the down payment and closing costs.
That's the biggie. See, that's the biggie. The down payment up front, typically, and I'm not an expert on a lot of this real estate, what is it? Typically, you need to make a down payment most of the time, okay?
Yeah.
And for some people, you know, finding 10 grand just to slap down.
Right. Well, that's right.
That seems like the real biggie here, if you ask me, the down payment.
We find a lot of people, their credit's in reasonable good shape, their earnings are enough that it makes sense to think about a mortgage.
But they can afford it, yeah, right.
They don't have a lot of money saved up. We can help with the down payment and with those few $1,000s in closing costs that a lot of people don't plan for. Generally speaking, our borrowers have some skin in the game, but we can help them get a little bit more down, which reduces the amount they have to borrow. We can cover their closing costs and enable them to keep a little of their own money in the bank for the time when the water heater breaks.
Right, exactly. You know, the unknown when something goes down.
Stuff happens, and you know that's why we require the counseling, because it helps people prepare for the experience.
Well, talk about that, since we didn't touch much. The counseling, so if they get into this, then you guys actually meet with them and kind of go over, okay, these are your financials, and this is what you need to be aware of.
It's a pretty good program, and in fact, folks can take a lot of it online now. We have a great partnership through eHome America.
I think everyone should take that, whether you're going through your program or not.
Yeah. Well, you know, we require it, and we always urge people, look, don't make this just something you do the night before you close so you can check the box.
Right.
Because a couple things. One, it's still an intimidating process. And understanding what's going to happen to you, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable. Secondly, you're going to learn some things about how to manage your money, how to organize your credit so that you are actually in better shape to qualify for the mortgage when you go. And it helps you avoid some of the financial mistakes that trip people up on the way. I mean, talk to any mortgage originator and they'll tell you about a client they had qualified for a mortgage until that guy went out and bought a car or a house full of furniture the week before closing and blew up his back end ratio. So now he doesn't qualify for the mortgage anymore.
Doesn't think about that. Wow.
Right.
Okay.
So the counseling can really help you set up. Take that first. The certificate's good for a year, and then you can take that to your lender. Any of the lenders that we list on our website, greatchoicetn.com, and that's how you get started. The lender takes care of everything for you. We're the back end piece of that with the financing.
Okay, so I'm thinking there's probably some people out there who have thought to themselves, and you know how rent is out of control.
Yes.
So they're thinking, you know what, I could buy a place if I can find the right home, and maybe even pay less than on my mortgage I'm paying every month for rent here.
Yes.
But maybe haven't realized, though, that there's this kind of help available to them right now for this. But this is their opportunity to do it. This is their chance. And this has been going on since, how many years has this been going on?
Well, the agency has been around for 45 years, and we still have down payment assistance on a regular basis for everybody. This program we launched just about a year ago.
That's what I thought. That's when we talked about. Well, by the way, when you say there's down payment assistance for everyone, what does that mean? I mean,
well, wherever you live in Tennessee, THDA, if you're a qualified borrower, we can help you with down payment and closing cost assistance. In most cases, we will provide an amount worth 5% of the purchase price. So if someone's buying a $200,000 home, we'll help you with $10,000 toward the down payment and closing cost. Now, there are different terms associated with that, but we can help you with down payment assistance wherever you're buying in Tennessee. In these specially designated zip codes, we have some federal money, so we can provide $15,000. And again, that's under some different terms.
Just before we go to our first break, I mean, since last year, do you have any idea how many people maybe took advantage of this?
Yeah.
Okay, I figured you did.
Yes, I do. It works out to, we think, about 500 or 600.
500 or 600, that's great, because I mean it can be complex, and I hope people are paying attention. We get some questions on this, but 500 or 600 people who were not homeowners are now homeowners because, I think in large part, this program.
Well, we saw a 40% 4% increase in our mortgage originations last year, and a lot of that was driven. We have 62 of these designated zip codes around the state. A lot of that growth came from those areas where the down payment made the difference for people in buying a home. I think there are a lot of folks who still aspire to home ownership. They want that opportunity. They're not sure they can reach it just now, and they're often pleasantly surprised to learn that working with a lender who works with THDA, they've got a competitive mortgage product, the down payment assistance that they need.
Yeah, why would you go somewhere else? That just makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, let's take a call before we go to break.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So she doesn't wait through. Let's go to Cherie. Hello, Cherie.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How can we help you?
I have a question. He keeps mentioning the designated zip codes, and I think now he said that he has there are 62 designated zip codes.
I guess across the state, several here in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a listing of the zip codes that you can provide, or is provided on the website?
Yeah, it is on the website. Here in Davidson County, 37217. 37207, I think 37115. Those have been our strongest, but there are a couple of more. Most of Robertson County is covered. The Clarksville area is covered. Up in Sumner County, if you're looking for a home around Portland or Westmoreland. If you're buying parts of the Laverne area in the northern part of Rutherford County or down toward Christiana in the southern part, McMinnville is covered. And of course, elsewhere in the state, we've got a lot of them clustered around Memphis, as you'd expect.
Give her the website again so she can go on, and others to find out if where they happen to be renting, where they want to stay, is a place that fits under this.
That's right.
What's the website?
Sheree, your best place to start is at greatchoicetn.com.
Yeah.
And then click on First Time Home Buyer, and it will tell you about the product, the down payment assistance, the list of lenders you can work with, the list of counselors to get started, and you also find a nice map and a list of the zip codes where the specially designated zip codes with the extra down payment assistance is available.
Awesome. Listen, let's take a break. When we come back, we can take more calls, and we can follow up if Cherie has any more questions about it. But I also want to get into how it is that you guys select these zip codes.
Yep.
All right, we'll take a break and be back with more about how you can get your first time home right after this.